We moved far ahead on our political goals. We protected economic growth. But from an environmental point of view, we certainly came short, and we expected that we would, over the years, improve the level of ambition. Now, who would save the planet if the United States, which is the second largest emitter in the world, accounting for something like 16% of greenhouse gas emissions today, CO2 emissions, all greenhouse gases, who will save the world? Well, certainly, China and India have a huge responsibility. We may not have a historical responsibility, but we have a huge responsibility. For too long in India, our approach to climate change has been predicated, has been anchored in two mantras. The first mantra was, we did not contribute to global warming. You guys did. So, we have every right to pollute. We will pollute, and 20 years later, we will do what you're asking us to do. That's mantra number one. And mantra number two is, our emissions are very low. Because anything in India, my dear friends, is low. Because the denominator is 1.25 billion. And that damn denominator is increasing by 12 million every year. And it is going to reach 1.7 billion by the year 2045. So whenever you have, when Indira Nui comes to Bombay, she talks about per capita consumption of soft drinks being very low in India. Yeah, per capita consumption of soft drinks is very low. Per capita emissions is very low because you are dividing, as I said, by this huge and increasing denominator. So the second mantra was, our emissions may be large, but our per capita emissions is very low. Which means that every Indian has a right to pollute. But basically that's what it is. You're saying per capita emissions. And this mindset has guided India's approach to climate change negotiations for years. In 2009, we made a decisive break with this. And the reason why we made a break with this was in recognition of the fact that there is no country in the world which has the vulnerabilities to climate change that India has. We are vulnerable. And there is no point telling the world, you guys do it, we will do it only if you give us money and technology. Nobody is going to buy that argument. So we must negotiate not defensively, but we must negotiate from a position of strength and strategic leadership. This is what the Chinese have done. The Chinese negotiate tough, but they don't believe the rhetoric of their negotiations when it comes to domestic actions. And today that's why China is a world leader in solar and wind. India uses rhetoric in international forums and takes that rhetoric so seriously to cramp whatever it has to do domestically. And so this paradigm shift started in 2009. Let's get out of this per capita fixation. Let's get out of this fixation that we have no historical responsibility. And let's show to the world, we are vulnerable, we take the leadership, and name and shame these guys. That was the concept. So we had the beginnings of the international agreement at Copenhagen, where incidentally, I must tell you, India and China worked exceedingly closely. And at Cancun in 2010, and those negotiations finally resulted in the Paris Agreement. And what we are engaged in right now is damage control. It will be very, very, very difficult to reverse the course. So we are doing damage control, and hopefully, with some technological breakthroughs in energy storage in the next 10 to 15 years, by the year 2030, maybe the planet will not be in as much of a jeopardy as we are today. Today, India accounts for 5% of world greenhouse gas emissions. We are number 4. China is at 29%. The US is at about 16%. The European Union is at about 11%. And India and Russia broadly on par at 5%. However, and this is the warning I want to sound, however, if we go on the way we are gone on, by the year 2030, India will account for almost 15% of world greenhouse gas emissions. We will be number 2 after China. By 2030, we would have already crossed China in terms of population, and we would be on its heels on greenhouse gas emissions. So we have to make a large number of difficult choices. The place of coal in our economy, for example, is one choice which we ducked, which we have not said anything in Paris. How much of coal? Where is our emissions going to peak? And are we always going to use this per capita argument in order to show that we still have a long way to go before we reach the levels that you are seeing in countries like USA, China. In China, for example, the per capita emissions is almost 8 tons. In the US is about 15 tons. In India, it's still about 2 tons. So it gives us a false sense of security, a false sense of hope, because there is so much of inequity and inequality in emissions within the country. So when you look at consumption inequality within the country, there are large sections of the Indian population which have already reached per capita levels of China, if not Europe or the United States. So I think what I want to leave you with is the message that climate change is a global issue, but it's an issue that affects India the most because of our multiple vulnerabilities, and it is in India's political interest, it is in India's economic interest not to adopt a moralistic position like we know. Morality comes naturally to all of us, so we can't help it. I think we need to be pragmatic. We need to recognize that this is an area which is actually opens up opportunities for strategic leadership, and with the vacuum created by Mr. Trump in the international architecture, this is a golden opportunity for India. By the way, the Chinese are already exercising this leadership. Xi Jinping went to Davos and spoke about the virtues of globalization. Unheard of. And he's talking about climate change. I think this is an occasion for India to stand up, to abandon its old mantras, which have served us well at one point of time. But today, when the world is crying out for leadership, by the way, leadership not through words, but leadership through actions. That is where I think the challenge lies.